No other fruit has sparked centuries of intense debate across Asia quite like the durian. Its proponents elevate it to the status of a superfruit, while its detractors dismiss it as a biological weapon. Does the Vietnamese name separate sorrow reflect the fruit's lonely reputation? Absolutely not. But the durian generates an unparalleled level of polarization. On one side stand devoted enthusiasts who savor every bite. On the other are individuals who desperately try to escape the moment they catch a whiff. Yet many are unaware that this distinctive aroma and physical structure historically led numerous countries to ban its import, classifying it as a hazard to transportation systems, hotels, aircraft, and general warehousing infrastructure. The durian's origins trace back to the tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia. Historical records confirm that as early as the 14th century, Chinese sailors journeying past Java and Sumatra, modern-day Indonesia, documented a fruit, spiky on the outside, creamy like milk within, and possessing a unique, powerful, unmistakable scent. From this point, the durian propagated throughout the region. Our Vietnamese name, separate sorrow, likely derives from the pronunciation found in Khmer Thurin or Old Thai Turian. Similarly, the English term durian is rooted in the Malay word duri, which simply translates to sharp thorn. Therefore, the fruit's name is fundamentally unrelated to sorrow or sadness. It originally described a fruit characterized by its distinct spikes, and the Vietnamese version is merely a phonetic deviation. To give credit where it is due, the durian possesses an incredibly potent smell. Researchers have identified more than 50 distinct odor compounds within it. These chemical signatures include components associated with fried onions, butter, caramel, sulfur, and even molecules found in natural gas. In essence, the durian presents an aroma unlike anything else, simultaneously fragrant and pungent, rich and terrifying, aggressive yet undeniably alluring. Enthusiasts regard its taste as the very essence of paradise, while critics often define the smell as a horrifying combination of fermented onions, melted cheese, and some unholy substance that compels you to physically run away. As commerce expanded between Southeast Asia and the rest of the world, global perceptions of the durian began to shift dramatically. Its arrival in the 18th and 19th centuries caused genuine shock among Europeans. Numerous explorer accounts describe a mixture of affection and terror, leaving them undecided whether the fruit deserved prohibition or applause. Some likened the flavor to creamy orange notes, yet noted the odor resembled someone setting fire to an onion next to a dumpster. This intense odor was the precise reason the durian was banned from various public transport systems and facilities, particularly in Singapore, Thailand, and Malaysia. However, these localized restrictions paled in comparison to the far more stringent international import bans. Throughout the 1970s and 1990s, countries including Japan, South Korea, and several Western nations refused to accept durian shipments. This refusal was driven less by a dislike of the taste and more by serious issues related to logistics, hygiene, safety standards, and the repeated occurrence of shipping incidents. Firstly, its overwhelmingly strong aroma compromised storage and transport conditions. When shipped via air or sea, particularly when the fruit was fully ripe, the durian odor could saturate an entire shipping container. One Japanese freight company documented that the durian smell persisted on the container walls for up to 3 weeks, contaminating subsequent merchandise and triggering numerous customer grievances. A significant incident occurred in 1989 at a Yokohama cargo port where personnel sounded a chemical leak alarm, attributing the powerful smell to toxic fumes emanating from a specific container. The source, however, was 2 tons of ripe durian. The stench was so intense that employees genuinely believed they were dealing with hazardous gas. Following a 3-hour investigation, the true culprit was identified. This event prompted Japan to maintain strict limitations on durian imports for many years. Secondly, durians are prone to cracking open and emitting a strong odor when subjected to pressure changes. During air freight, shifts in cabin pressure could cause the fruit to split, resulting in the rapid release of its smell. Numerous airlines banned the fruit completely, fearing contamination within the cabin environment. Furthermore, the sharp, spiky exterior was often categorized as a hazardous item capable of puncturing packaging or damaging storage facilities. Thirdly, the fruit tends to ferment easily and generates gas. The durian's natural biology involves rapidly accelerating the fermentation process after harvesting. In warmer conditions, this produces ethanol and CO2, Concerns about fire or explosion risks within refrigerated storage units led some nations to classify the durian as a high-risk commodity. Fourthly, nations maintained rigorous quarantine standards. Japan, Korea, and European countries enforced extremely high food safety benchmarks and expressed serious apprehension regarding tropical pests and fungi. Prior to the 2000s, Southeast Asian suppliers lacked the necessary technology for irradiation, steam treatment, or advanced pest control, meaning durian was routinely rejected upon arrival at customs checkpoints. Finally, the unique odor presented a cultural clash. In Japan, there is a cultural emphasis on being odor neutral in public spaces, from subway cars to dining establishments. Fruit so intensely scented that it required specialized warning signs inevitably cultivated a negative public image. Consequently, the Japanese government contemplated imposing further restrictions simply to mitigate domestic controversies. The confluence of these factors resulted in the durian being banned or severely limited in import for several decades. Widespread market access was only truly achieved once cold chain logistics and freezing preservation technology underwent major development. Supplier nations like Thailand, Malaysia, and Vietnam heavily invested in systems for irradiation, heat treatment, and sterilization. Simultaneously, soaring demand from China transformed the durian into a crucial strategic export commodity. Japan began accepting frozen durian imports around the year 2000. South Korea followed suit somewhat later, and European nations have gradually begun to receive it, albeit with extremely high entry requirements. Nowadays, even the world's most demanding markets permit the fruit, provided it is vacuum-sealed, heavily packaged, or entirely frozen. In short, the world has accepted the durian fruit but remains deeply uncomfortable with its inherent scent. Here are several intriguing facts about the durian. A truly delicious durian must ripen and drop naturally from the tree. Growers often listen for the soft thud sound late at night to find ripe fruit. Many farmers must wear protective gear or hard hats when working in durian orchards, as a direct hit from a falling fruit can cause severe injury. Fruit weighing 4 to 6 kilograms, 9 to 13 pounds, dropping from a height of 8 meters possesses enough force to break bones. The concept of falling is significant in the durian world. Malaysia, for instance, fruit bats are considered the primary and most vital pollinators. Without the bats' activity, the harvest yield would drastically decline. This is why Malaysia prohibits the felling of trees during the durian flowering season, ensuring the bats retain their crucial nesting sites. Regarding its genetic makeup, the durian is astonishingly complex, boasting over 45,000 genes, more than double the number found in humans. This intricate genetic structure is responsible for the multi-layered, indescribable aroma that causes devotees to inhale deeply and critics to recoil in panic. The price of the Musang King variety from Malaysia once surged tenfold within just a few years. At its peak, 1 kilogram of Musang King exported to China was valued equivalent to 1.5 kilograms of gold. Consequently, it has earned the nickname Malaysian green gold. The durian also exhibits addictive qualities. Certain studies indicate that consuming the fruit provides a powerful stimulation of dopamine, inducing intense feelings of pleasure and gratification. This explains why devoted fans often find it impossible to stop eating once they start. Regarding further odor-related incidents, in 2018, an Australian university was completely evacuated when officials suspected a toxic gas leak. After a 2-hour search, the authorities discovered the only source was a single pungent durian fruit located inside the campus library. This embarrassing event made global headlines, cementing the durian's status as an international source of comedy. In Singapore, the fruit is prohibited on the MRT system, in taxis, on buses, and across various high-end hotels and condominiums. The famous "No Durian" prohibition sign has become so widespread that it functions as a cultural emblem. Remarkably, some tourists intentionally travel to Singapore specifically to take photos alongside these famous exclusion placards. Despite being subject to so many bans, the durian remains one of Asia's most valuable agricultural commodities. Thailand generates over $3 billion annually from the fruit. Since China formally opened its market to imports, Vietnam has also emerged as a powerful new force in the global durian trade. Durian seeds are consumable only when boiled or roasted, as they contain toxins when raw. This makes them a rare type of fruit seed that requires cautionary preparation before consumption. The fruit's potent odor can linger on hands, knives, and cutting boards for more than 24 hours. To neutralize the scent, people often resort to washing with salt, warm water, lemon juice, or surprisingly, rubbing the affected surface with the inside of the durian husk itself. Malaysia hosts an international durian competition where fruits are judged based on their aroma, texture, creaminess, flavor intensity, density, and sweetness. The most highly rated fruits have been sold at auction for prices reaching several thousand US dollars. For all, the cultural conflict between loving and hating the durian is an unending battle. No other fruit establishes such a definitive boundary between consumers. Those who adore it describe the flavor as custard, caramel, or melting butter. Opponents, meanwhile, describe it as the smell of sewage, rotten onions, or gas fumes. This profound contrast is precisely what solidifies the durian's legendary status. If one wishes to understand the disposition of a Southeast Asian person, simply inquire whether they consume durian. This persistent, never-ending debate elevates the durian to a cultural icon akin to black coffee, aged spirits, or blue cheese. It is a flavor that demands time for proper appreciation. But once affection takes root, it becomes virtually inescapable. The durian faced import bans based on its odor, safety issues, logistical complexity, and cultural friction. Yet it ultimately surmounted all these obstacles to emerge as one of Asia's most premium fruits, channeling billions of US dollars to farmers and forging a massive export industry. It is a commodity simultaneously feared and cherished, prohibited and intensely sought after, reviled and revered as royalty. Truly, no other object captures the profound duality of life quite like the durian. Thank you for your interest in this story. If you found it engaging, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and share the content. For now, I bid you farewell.